Hi everyone, and thank you so much for taking your time to actually watch this video. So today I am doing things a little bit different, and it's actually 3:45 in the morning, and I guess this is the best time to actually discuss this topic. It's been roughly a year or more since I've been maybe around, let's say, and there are a couple of things that I personally really wish that somebody had actually told me before I came in, or just, I don't know, I wish there were like guidelines or rules that were there, or like a handbook that was beforehand written before traveling from Kenya and coming abroad. Don't get me wrong, it's actually really beautiful to study away from home because there is new experiences and things like that, and I really hope that this video is not by any chance a means of discouragement for people who really want to travel, because this is just to give you the things that you might expect when you're coming, let's say, to the diaspora for the first time. First of all, it's really important to understand that home will always be home, and therefore you will almost never be ready to leave. Yes, you will be prepared, because most of the time you actually are aware of when you're supposed to leave or when you should be going, or you get what I'm saying, yeah? But it's really hard even on the day to actually be ready to leave home, because if you've been born and bred in Kenya, if you're born and bred in Kenya or Africa or wherever your home is, then moving to somewhere where it's totally new, where you don't know where things are, you actually don't know where the bathroom is, where the town is, where you get what and what, it gets really hard to actually be ready to live. The next thing that I really feel is of importance is, I think everywhere you go, in whatever country you go to, there's always like a Kenyan community or an African community for that matter. It consists of people that have probably been wherever you're moving to for either X amount of years. They've been there before you, so they know what goes on. There's a number of them who necessarily don't want to help you, they just want to interact or communicate, just bringing in the numbers. So it's really important to actually join those groups or the communities abroad, because that's usually more like your family, or like they feel more homely, and that way you feel, I don't know, you feel at ease and life becomes more relaxing, because life abroad is in a rush, like everything is quick. It's important to join these groups because life abroad is really quick, because if you're up, you're working. If you're not working, in school. If you're not in school, you're maybe out, you're always doing something. Like, life is in a rush. I really don't know how to best explain this, but actually life is really in a rush. And so joining these communities make you really feel at home, and especially if you don't have like family abroad, it may get really hard, and even when you have family, you don't always have the opportunity to see them. You know how when you're at home, it's so easy to like pop into your family, your relatives, like it's very easy to see them, and you see them more often. Away from home, that changes. Everybody has their life to live. People have mouths to feed, people have rent to pay, and a couple of this duties and things that need to be done that they barely have time for you. They do have time for you, but not always. Something else I would really want somebody who is a actually leaving home to go abroad to do whatever they're going to do abroad is really understanding that mental health is a thing. And it's funny to say that, because if you asked me a while back, I'd just be like, mental health. But anyway, yes, mental health is actually a thing. And it's very easy to be affected. And by mental health, you all understand what I'm saying, you know. It's actually very important to realize that it's very easy to get into these scenarios and these problems, and it may easily get to you because, first of all, like I said in my previous point, is your family is not always with you, or you don't necessarily have a support system as compared to when you are at home. And you may have a support system, but it may not be as strong. You know, when you're at home, you have friends, you have family, you have extended family, you have everyone, and everybody relates to you, and it's so easy to interact. We have time for one another, whereas over here you don't. And so it is very easy to actually fall into these things without even knowing. And seriously, it's really easy to get into these things. Speaking of mental health, this brings me to the next point, which is racism is a thing. Yeah, leave what we watch in the movies, leave what the rumors we have. Racism is actually a thing. If I'm being honest, when I was back home, I actually really genuinely thought that racism is a thing that was in the past, like it wasn't a thing anymore. And shock on me. Don't get me wrong, there are very amazing people that I have met in my life here. Like, they're really good people. And then there are people that are on the other side of the scale. There are so many things that actually make you realize that your color is different. I do understand, yes, I know I'm a grown-up, I know I'm very old to not know what is the color of my skin, but see, I didn't find it as an issue. Like, I didn't find it as a characteristic or something I would definitely describe. I would use to describe myself to someone until I moved away from home, and that's when I actually realized, yeah, despite being Mbaire Wangui, I am actually black. And I actually got to embrace it, because nowadays I really do embrace it. It's good for, well, this is for me, but I find the need to call out whenever I see it. Like, when someone is being plain racist, and I feel the need to say so. Racism really doesn't come from people who are necessarily white. It comes from people who are even from like other countries, and like other races that is not practically African. So if you feel the need, call it out. And for me, it works well. It works well for me because I seek to find emotional stability when I do. But yeah, there's that. Wow, this is a deep topic. I don't know why I decided to do it, but yeah, I guess. One thing I wasn't really keen on is that working while in the university is actually a thing. Well, except if your parents are like legit well off, then you don't have to worry. But for me, I'm from a regular home. You got to work to get those beautiful shoes you're looking for. You've got to work to get your hair did. You got to work to get fare to go to town, or like transport money. You've got to work to get whatever it is you want to work, and it's also a thing that's in line with the mental health issue. Because see, when you don't take care of yourself in that manner, everything gets overwhelming, because you're working, you're in school, you're doing so many things at once that sometimes you forget to take care of yourself, and that might lead to a mental breakdown. See, in Kenya, or yeah, I'm speaking in Kenya, because that's the only place I have experience from, I didn't really need to work. Like, I was working for fun, if that's a thing, because I really didn't need to pay bills. I didn't need so much money to take care of myself. Like, it was enough. I was a full-time student, and that was it. Like, I had time on the weekends to go and have fun and, you know, do whatever needs to be done. And after college at 4 o'clock, I just went home and relaxed, and that was my life. But life on the flip side, you need to work, because you want to get yourself some good stuff, because again, we don't have a toy or a gikomba over here. So if you're really into Gucci or Versace or Adidas or Nikes, you need to get them new from the store, and they cost about 50 pounds or more or less, which is roughly about 5,000, which in Kenya 5,000 would probably have taken me a whole month. I guess it's a thing with living in a first world country. Yeah, life, like I said, life is on the fast lane. Life is at speed. And then, you know, people on Instagram, on Facebook, on, you know, all these social media platforms, they usually give you the good side of life. I have a Gucci belt, so yay to that, but they don't show you how much they hustled to actually get the money to buy that bag. People will show you what they've got, but they don't show you the hustle. Just like now, I have a cute top, I have, you know, earrings done, I have my hair did, but I don't show you the process. All you see is final product. You don't know how many times I've tried to put on lipstick, it's probably smudged. You don't know how many times I've tried to do this cornrows and it didn't work out until I finally got to this. And that's the same thing with hair. People work like dogs. I am sorry to say this, but it's actually true. People work like dogs, and that's because that's the only way to survive. Because if you can't work, you can't survive. And at least if you're not from here, if you don't work, you can't survive. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, because that's probably the only way I would know whether this video was helpful to you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends and anybody who's willing or hoping to travel abroad or to the diaspora in the future, or maybe now, because probably this may be a video that may be useful to them, just to make them ready or mentally prepared, I would say. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.